Welcome back, everyone, to Talking It Out with Bachelor Nation. Another great show for you today. We have Jill from Clayton season on to talk to us about her journey and her connection with Clayton. And I'm excited to talk to her, man. What about you?
I'm definitely excited to talk to her. I want to see what she has to say, what we didn't see on the show. Right? I know she was on the date, the round table with Caitlin Bristow. I want to talk about that. I may ask about the urn that she brought on.
Yeah, I want to unpack the architectural historian. I wanted to take a deep dive into that.
As a doctor, you would.
I'm curious. So, but Mike, you know how we do, bro. We got to start off with our hot takes. So I'm going to throw it over to you to get us started.
Yes. So I was talking to somebody today, and they brought up this really good question. I'm going to say it in a dude's perspective, right? Or like you and I's perspective.
Okay.
Bryan, I'm going to ask you this question, right? If Rachel's dad, if your father-in-law slaps the F out of you, right? He's a judge, so he knows the law. He can get out of any situation. He slaps the hell out of you. How do you react?
Wow.
in front of Rachel. It's not just the two of y'all. It's like at Christmas, it's at Thanksgiving.
Like in front of the whole family?
In front of the whole family. Whether you deserved it or not, it don't matter. Let's say you deserved it.
Hold on. You know how I always do, context. Why the hell, what position was I in to get slapped? Like, what did I do?
You smacked Rachel's butt in front of her.
I smacked her butt?
I don't know. That's just okay to my mind first. You said I smacked her butt.
I mean, the judge can have you
No. Here's a better one.
I don't know. You got to go at him.
You got a little too drunk, and you said something that was off key, that was deserving of who the hell are you talking to?
Oh, that's tough, man. That's tough because it's kind of like you got to respect your elders. If I'm drunk, who knows? I probably deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's do you just suck it up and just take it and just walk? I definitely have to leave the room. It would either be I'd do something, maybe I wouldn't put my hands on them, but who was the comedian that said it? I'd shake the shit out of you, but I wouldn't hit you.
I don't know if that comes across the same. You just shaking the shit out of a man. A man that's older than you.
Don't slap me.
That's older than you. Yeah, don't you ever slap me again. All right, let me ask it this way. If your mom slaps the hell out of Rachel, that is the question.
Yeah, listen, I'd have to jump in between them. I don't know. I think that Rachel wouldn't put up with that.
No, big sis would not.
Sis would not put up with that. She'd let her have a piece of her mind. So I would just be mortified. That's how I would feel. I'd be mortified. Have to separate the two, and I don't know. We need some therapy after that.
No, you for sure. Therapy would need to be happening. If it were me and I was in that position.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
If it was my mom slaps the hell out of my wife, I'm picking my mom up immediately. And taking her to the back room, as if she were my child. Who the hell you think you are?
And your wife would be running after right behind you.
No, because my wife, there's never a position to where if in front of me, where my wife could slap my mom back. That's just I don't care how wrong my mom was. You just ain't gonna slap my mom.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, mom, you ain't gonna think you gonna just slap my girl and get away with it. We gonna have a talk. Definitely. So we're gonna have a talk.
I think it'd be more than a talk, man.
Sure.
That's grounds for yo, you just slapped the shit out of the woman that I love and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with. I have
you slapped your grandkid's mom.
Yeah, that she'd be put in a long ass timeout. Just to say that. Don't talk to me until you have forgiven from the heavens to the earth. I don't care. You gotta make up for that. That's unacceptable.
So now, Bryan, I think the immaturity in me would have to come out if my wife's dad, and it's even worse. As a man, it's even worse. It's like the unwritten rule. If a man slaps another man, that's almost worse than a punch.
Yeah, it's not even a punch. Yeah, exactly.
It's even more disrespectful. Bro, you slapped me? I'm throwing hands. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to suffer the consequences because obviously I shouldn't do it.
So you're knocking pops out, like straight up.
It's gonna be a natural reaction, like who do you think you are, bro? Like you just don't do that to me, homie. Now, if my girl's mom slaps me, that's a different story because that's a woman. And like, I am in my brain, it just don't happen. Like I just can't hit a woman back, right? But, bro, if a man hit me, it's a natural reaction to defend myself. Like, who you think you are, homie? Don't be hitting me. Don't let him be bigger than me, because then I might be scared. So like, I'm definitely gonna hit him back.
So Mike is not turning the other cheek. He's swinging.
Bro. I can't. But here's the flip side. Now let's make it bigger. Let's make it overall. Not even just slapping, but like in relationships, Bryan. Do you have your family back, or do you have your partners back?
You know what? That's an interesting question, because I was asked that in my hometown date with Rachel's family. Rachel asked me.
See, that's why I knew I liked Rachel. That's such an intuitive question.
If you had to choose mom or now wife, I said wife. She was like, okay, good answer. You know what I'm saying? So like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your life partner. My mom has her life with my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm moving forward with my wife. This is the person that's going to be by my side, my rock for the rest of time. So it's kind of like, you naturally have to, leave the nest, and that's it. That's like, you're with your wife now. You know what I'm saying? So
you have to.
Now, I have a flip side question for your scenario. What happens after you punch your dad? Like, how does that relationship continue?
That's gonna. I'm saying that now. Like, hopefully, first off, my wife's dad, if you listening, homie, please don't ever hit me, because like, just my upbringing. It's gonna be a natural. Like, don't do that, bro. Like, I'm talking about like a on the face slap. I'm not talking about like a little, like you tripping, but I'm talking about like, like a good one. Like he got a good 8. He covered my whole face, like a good slap, right? You know what I mean? Like he got the whole face.
He took out the powder and everything.
Yeah, the powder. Poured it on his hand, rubbed it around. So now, father-in-law, if you're listening right now, whoever my father-in-law may be one day, I love you already. I know that I'm wrong, and I hope that what I'm saying today will never take place. I hope that you never put your hands on me, firstly. And I hope that I never put myself in a position to, make you feel that type of way. It's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to have to apologize to the entire family and be genuine about it, too. I'm not going to do no Shanae apology. It's going to have to be real. Shade thrown purposely. Like, it's going to have to be real, right? I just hope to never be in a situation like that. Like, it's like, because like, first off, your girl going to think you a bitch. She's going to like,
but it's like, okay, it's like, well, would she think you're a bitch? Would she think you're a bitch? Because again, it's her dad.
Or deserving, depending if you deserved it. Like, if you deserved it, then you deserved it. Like, if I deserved it, then that's different. I'm not gonna like hit back. But if I feel that I didn't deserve that hit, oh yeah, we throwing hands on me.
I mean, she might even respect you for, restraining yourself to the point where you don't slap him back too.
If he was a smaller individual and like, obviously my father-in-law will be older than I am. Like, if he looking like Jean-Claude Van Damme is nice for a 60-something.
Not the Jean-Claude Van Damme reference.
Bruh,
I love that.
Jean-Claude gonna have to
bring
get
it
hit.
Back.
He might beat my ass because I know he knows some, and that's gonna be even more embarrassing. That's a whole nother conversation. Imagine getting your ass like fully beat.
It's like Dad used to do MMA.
Like, you
don't
would
know
never
if you knew that.
Like John Jones. Imagine if he slapped you, and then you have the audacity to slap John Jones back as when he becomes an older man. That's your ass. Like, he loves to do. He loves to hurt people.
You wake up, you come to be. It's like you've been out of consciousness for the last 10 minutes.
I will be intelligent, and if it's John Jones, my future father-in-law, which won't be because I think he's like 2 years older than me, I have to be cognizant to know, hey, that man slapped me. I need to come at him in another way. You got to be intelligent, right? He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. I can't be stupid like that.
I feel you, Mike. Violence is not the answer, but I agree that sometimes, I don't know, it might just be a reaction.
It depends on the situation. I'm gonna pull your answer. Like, context is king. I got to know the context.
Context is everything. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So I'm gonna relate this back to the show. We saw on the latest episode, there was a little tiff between. Actually, it goes back to the roast, right? Sarah was saying some things about Mara. Sarah was saying some things about Mara, calling her old or a cougar. And, you know, basically saying she was that 70-year-old woman that came with that other girl.
Which she's younger than I am, so that made me feel sometimes. I'm like, hold up, man.
Yeah. Can we? I mean, what's it? I feel like only in the Bachelor world are like early 30-year-old women called cougars. Like,
only.
When did this happen?
First off, I want to say to me personally, that's not even a dig because I find cougars attractive. So like,
hell yeah.
For the women out there listening, like, my first crush ever, my second crush was Topanga from Boy Meets World. My first crush ever was Pam Grier.
Pam Grier.
Who was a shit? She was a cougar 25 years ago.
Fine mama jamma, baby.
Yes. So like, what's up?
All right. So, I mean, obviously I don't like I've always said it, I don't like when a person goes behind the person's back and talks to the Bachelor about them or whatnot. But, you know, it's getting late in the game and Mara hasn't gotten a one-on-one yet. And Sarah just got a second one-on-one, right? And I think she's just keeping it 100 with Clayton. She's telling him her truth and whether he likes to hear it or not. And I just don't think that makes Mara, you know, desperate or a cougar of what, you know, people are calling them on the show. And I just think she says who she says she is, right? She's a confident woman who knows what she wants. She's truly ready for something. She's there for something serious. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. She has more life experience. She has more experience in dating and love and breakups and heartbreak, whatever the case may be. And she doesn't believe that a 23-year-old is fully ready, which she mentioned on the show. I don't think she's fully ready for an eventual marriage. And honestly, I got to agree with that. Like, when I was in my early to mid 30s, like a 23-year-old, like I wouldn't really take them seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be looking for that age range, let's say a 28 to 33, where it's like they've gotten that, you know, whole stage out of, you know, a lot of girls or a lot of women that are 23.
Say it with your chest.
A lot of women that are 23, you know, especially coming from Miami, you know, they like to be on the scene. You know, they like to party. They like to have fun. They don't want to take anything serious. So, you know, I would like to date somebody a little older. And I know that there's women out there that like to date older men, and they have similar reasons, right? The guy's more mature. He knows what he wants. He's more established physically, financially, emotionally, whatever the case may be. And I just think statistically speaking, the chances are higher that the person who's a little older is going to be more ready and have more of the experience to be ready to eventually take the plunge and get married at the end of this.
I love that we disagree.
Disagree with me, bro.
Let's disagree. So, firstly, I saw this thing the other day. It said that a man is most attractive to from a woman at the age of 36 because like that's when he's his most established. He is at his.
He's in his prime.
He's in his prime at 36 years old. And like, first off, your body, homie, happy birthday to you, my brother. I love you.
Appreciate it,
Bryan. If you take off your shirt, you're 22, not 42. So just ode to my brother right there. But
I love you, bro.
I completely disagree. And this is why. I know on my Twitter, I said, if she under 25, I'm not taking her serious. But I think that Mari's words, if she wanted to say that, could have been towards someone else. More like someone who's never been in love. Someone who has a lot less experience when it comes to relationships, who was also someone else on the show, who I like the girl, but someone else on the show. Mara, I feel that she could have taken that statement to somebody else. But the reason I disagree is because Sarah, she's a wealth management advisor. That occupation in and of itself calls for a different type of personality trait. It's like if someone's a doctor at the age of 23, they still may be immature when it comes to emotions, but there's something about them that shows signs of maturity. And for that reason, I gotta disagree. She's a wealth management advisor. She's not like
so job title. So what they're doing as far as their job, is that all that matters?
No, 0%. That's not what I'm trying to say whatsoever. I'm trying to say that it's a part of the ingredients that I put inside the blender to see what your personality is like.
Okay.
If I'm 52 and I'm on Jackass, that says something about my personality. If that's my occupation, I got my face tatted on my back, Steve-O, who I love, that's still a part of my personality, is it not? That's my
occupation. You're right.
Yeah. So therefore, I have to give. She deserves some. If I'm blending up my ingredients right now, at 23 years old, she's a wealth management advisor, which I was. That shit ain't easy.
No, listen. Like I said, there are exceptions to every rule, right?
Correct.
She may be she may be mature beyond her years. We
interviewed Serena Pitt.
How impressive was she, right? Like we walked away from that interview like, wow, she's got a really good head on her shoulders. Like Joe's older, maybe there's
we call Serena wifey material too.
Yeah, I mean, you look at her and Joe. You look at Nick and his girlfriend. Like maybe the chemistry is just amazing. They vibe emotionally, intellectually, whatever the case may be. They all get married, have kids, and ride off into the sunset. I'm not saying that can't happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking like from my experience. Like me and Rachel joke all the time. Like in her 20s, she was like, I wouldn't even looked at you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was having fun, and I wanted to be on the scene and whatnot. It's like we wouldn't have had that emotional maturity to be where we were when we actually met on the show. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what I'm used to.
I agree with that to a certain extent, because I think about my first love. She was 21, I was 24. Like you could say I didn't have much at all experience. I had never been in love before, but I damn sure put everything out there on the table, and I really wanted it. Was I perfect? No. But am I perfect today? No. And it's been 10 years,
Absolutely.
So that's why I just I see what she's saying, but I got to disagree with her. I think that Sarah is mature for her age. Now, I want to say this, though. For Mara, I do wonder, because I do believe full-heartedly her passion. She wants this 100%, but does she want it with Clayton?
Well,
that's
a great question. And I'll give you the opposite of that. Does Clayton want it with her? And the answer to that is no.
Is no. Exactly. Is no.
So
he doesn't. So
she can scream to the rooftops about, how mature she is, how ready she is. She can cook, she can clean, she's good in bed, she mentioned. But at the end of the day, does dude want to be with you? And I personally don't. Like, trust me, Mara, you will find somebody out there who wants exactly what you want, and you guys are on the same page. It's just not Clayton.
It's just exactly. It's not Clayton. and her saying she good in bed. I mean, she might be good at some things that she does. I mean, hand clap to the young lady, right? But when it comes to this being good at bed and the sex aspect, it's about a connection. They just don't got it. So they can have sex and it still ain't gonna be A1. But
yes.
He said, yes. Well, we can talk about sex all day. We can talk about the situation all day. But I'm so excited for our guest today. And we got to get her on because, my stomach is bubbling like liquid, not solid.
TMI, Mike. TMI. It's that Mexico water, bro. Be careful.
I'm careful out here, man. But let's bring on the woman of the hour. I'm trying to find out so many things about her. I feel like on this season, there's so many women that we just don't know enough about. Possibly because of the Shanae drama, but let's bring on Jill.
So Jill, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. We're happy to have you. And you know what? I feel like we didn't get to know enough about you on the season. So I want to make this podcast all about you, learn all about your journey and, the woman behind the woman.
The woman behind the woman. Is this a memoir, Bryan?
I don't know. I don't know.
A memoir going on. Jill, seriously, thank you for being on today, talking it out. We've talked about you many times off the screen, but now we get to talk to you in person. So we appreciate you. Last week, unfortunately, well, not even unfortunately, let's say unfortunately for our homie Claynos, he sent you home.
His mistake.
I know.
His mistake. So looking back, is there anything that you would do differently, or how did you feel about your time on the show?
Yeah, so I left with no regrets. I left everything on the table. I did everything that I could to kind of make the best use of my time, which I didn't get a lot of. But I really left with no regrets. I didn't think that there was anything I could have done better. I stayed true to myself, which is something that I am very proud of. And yeah, I really left knowing I knew it was my time. I knew it was my time.
Why do you say you knew it was your time? Like, what was that relationship like with Clayton?
So I wasn't blessed with much time because there was a lot of drama in the house that you guys saw. I'm sure we'll get into that. And so
I love the side talk.
My relationship definitely took a bit of a backseat to that. And so now actually watching it back, I'm like, oh my God, these women have like amazing connections with him already. And I did not realize how far behind I was. So watching it back, and even then I just knew I didn't have a strong enough connection. And I was hoping that eventually we would get there, but I just kept getting setback after setback. And I was like, well, it's not happening. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily anything that Clayton did or that I didn't do. Hopefully, I don't know. I just think it was the timing wasn't right, and the stars did not align for us.
Just wasn't in the cards for you. That's understandable.
Wasn't in the cards. No.
So you've been getting a lot of love on social media lately, especially when it comes to the girls when they got together to talk about Shanae, like for how you reacted in the drama in the house. Like I feel like you were providing a little bit of comedic relief at the same time. Like. Yeah. How did you handle all that when everything was going down?
Comedy. It was just, honestly, that's how I get through a lot of things in life. And the situation was just so ridiculous in general that I just couldn't help to be like, what is this? So nothing really made a lot of sense to me. So I just tried to laugh about it. But then it did actually quite get to me a lot. But there's really nothing I could do. What am I going to do? Go up to Clayton? And I guess I could, but I didn't feel like I had a strong enough connection to. And so I was just kind of like, I see everything. That's the thing. It's like, I see everything that's going on. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sit here and wait to watch this play out. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely approach things with a little bit of levity. That's for sure.
What would you say was the height of like just all the silliness and the drama, like you being in there real time? Was it Shrimpgate?
It was the shrimp cocktail party.
Okay.
It was the shrimp cocktail party. We knew going into that, I was like, this thing is going to get canceled. There's absolutely no way. And I had something really cute planned for Clayton and I'm like, I'm wasting my damn time.
Wait,
right
please
now.
share. Please share.
Oh no, she said the way she said that, Bryan.
Yeah, I want to know.
Like,
now.
Hold up, what was that?
No, I had something cute. So like I'm half Chinese and cranes are like a big symbol in my life and in the culture. So I handmade paper cranes and I was going to have all these paper cranes and we were going to make a wish and blah, blah, blah. Canceled. Cocktail party, canceled. Every time I had something cute to do, canceled. So
that's the name of the game on the Bachelor, Bachelorette. That's the name of the game right there.
I know. So I was just like, it was so ridiculous. So I was really frustrated at the shrimp cocktail party, as I lovingly referred to it as. But yeah, it was just, Shrimpgate is so ridiculous. Like it's not, it was too crazy to be real to me. And so I was having trouble understanding why I was losing quality time with this man over shrimp.
He said over shrimp.
Over shrimp.
Maybe he's like Bubba Gump and Forrest Gump. You know, maybe
this
he just
is
really
not
like
Bubba
shrimp.
Gumps. This is not Bubba Gumps. You do not have to eat that shrimp if you do not want to.
It's true. It's true. Buddy. So we've asked everyone this question. I'm gonna ask you this right quick. Mm-hmm. How is Shanae really? Are we
okay?
Everything we seen, was it wrong? Was it like worse behind the scenes? Like, was it not that bad?
Do people have her figured out, or is she?
No.
Is there more to her that we don't know?
See, that's the thing. I really don't know. So in the house, when I was in the house, I was like, this girl's a little crazy, but she's not doing anything to me, so I'm just gonna sit back here. But I would reach out to her many times. The amount of times I've reached out to that woman to be like, hey, I know you're feeling alienated in the house. And I never want you to feel that way. You could come to me. We can talk it out. Because I'm like, there's no way she's acting out of just what's in her own heart. There has to be something more. So I was trying to figure that out. And so I would time and time again, hey, Shanae, I know you're really feeling. No, wouldn't want to talk about it. She'd be like, thank you. Wouldn't talk about it. So at that point, I kind of had to like create a boundary for myself saying, okay, this is not a mutually exclusive relationship. Like you're not giving me what I need and I'm not giving you what you need apparently. So I kind of just had to like step back from that and, you know, let her be the author of her own destiny.
I like the way you put that.
That she
was. But she was an enigma because she would stay to herself a lot of the time. And I didn't know. I was shocked, along with America, at the things that she was saying in her ITMs. Yeah. I was like, I was shocked. I was shocked. But yeah, so my feelings have changed. At first when I left, I was like, oh, she's just troubled. Like
she's just troubled.
She's just troubled. And we're all at different points in our lives, and there were points where I was like, why am I raising a 29-year-old woman right now? Like, why am I like picking her up off the floor, the locker room, and why am I trying to like hold her hand? And it's not my job. I'm not the parent. I am not the mother. Like, no, I'm here for a relationship, and I know she was there for a relationship, but she's an enigma.
She is an enigma. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, to not talk about anybody else, but to know more about you, Jill. We know that you grew up in Rhode Island, which I'm from Texas, so I got to say that there's, I think, 200 Rhode Islands can fit inside of Texas. But what was like your childhood, like your random stat? When you're from Texas, you just be saying some shit like that, right? That's us Texans. Yeah. But we know that you're half Chinese. You know that you grew up in Rhode Island. What was your childhood like?
Yeah, I had the best childhood of all time. I think. That. I grew up in a small town. The people that I went to elementary school with and like preschool with, they're still my homies to this day. Like, we are thicker than thieves. Yeah, so I'm really lucky to have them. They are like my family. But yeah, it was a lot of my grandparents were very like salt of the earth kind of people. So I was picking worms, identifying baby pine trees.
I never heard that term before, so I was confused for a second. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah. So yeah, I was out there kind of. I had horses growing up too, so it was definitely more of like a country lifestyle. Okay. So yeah, I love the woods. I had a great childhood. My parents are happily together, and so I had a very good image of love. And yeah, I have a very close nuclear family. I have an older sister, and she's in med school, so she's out there killing it. Shout out to you.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Meg. So yeah, I would say I had a very good upbringing for sure, in a very like tight-knit community.
So question, there's been actually a theme with Clayton and other women on the show about kind of like the competition with the siblings. And is that something that you connected with Clayton on? No, we actually never really talked about siblings. Really? Yeah, I asked him because I was feeling homesick. I was like, "Are you feeling homesick?" He's like, "No." I was like, "All right, well, let's move on from that."
No, he's like, good.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "I'm right where I'm supposed to be." I'm like, if I were dating 30 women too, I would be right where I'm supposed to be.
That's a great perspective.
But yeah, no, there was definitely rivalry between my sister and I, but in different ways. Like, she got the brains, I got everything else. God bless.
Shots fired.
No, and she knows it. And she knows that we said that if we worked to combine, we would be the perfect person. Because she has the brains, and I have some of like the street smarts, so to speak.
Okay.
But yeah, so it wasn't really a rivalry. We fought lots, but no.
Like physically, did it get physical?
Physically, yes.
Wow.
What's y'all's age difference?
She's 2 years older than me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like she would start it and I would finish it. Let's just say. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Bryan. We learned about Jill.
I'm gonna be the closer.
She said, "I'm closing this out." Yeah.
I'm closing it. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. That's funny you said that. You asked Clayton, "Is he missing home?" You're like, "Nah." He's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good." But we know that your dad, he's an immigrant, comes from an immigrant family of 11. It's like massive.
Crazy.
Has he passed down anything from his culture to you, to your sister, anything of that nature? What was that?
So there's a big emphasis on obviously family and then honor. Although it sounds very, stereotypical. You think like Mulan, like please bring honor to us all. No,
first
it's really
off,
like
Mulan
that.
is one of my top 10 movies. That joint goes so hard. The live action version.
That. Yeah. So there was definitely some, influence from him to, you're a chin, and so you have to bring honor to the family. And that was kind of one of his concerns with me coming on the show, was he wasn't sure that I was going to bring honor to the family. And I'm like, Dad, you know me? So I had to be careful about like what I did and what I said, because I was very much like upholding these values that have been instilled in me. So yeah, and obviously respect towards elders, respect towards others. And then also definitely there was an emphasis on education for sure.
So coming off the show, were they pleased with, you know, how everything turned out? Did they feel like you honored the family, you showed the respect?
Yeah, my dad, I think he passively watches it. I don't think he fully wants to know. My mom watches it and she's like, you came out unscathed. And I'm like, no, I was like, no, did I come out unscathed? But no, I think they were happy with the way that things went. Ultimately, like, Clayton wasn't my guy and that was fine, but I didn't do anything too crazy. I just screamed about shrimp, but that was to be expected. But no, I think they were really proud of the way I upheld myself in that situation.
That's awesome.
Good. I have to ask, does if you would have brought Clayton home, how would that have been? Do you feel like that would have been a mesh, a pairing, or like how would that have gone?
Oh God, I think it would be, well, my dad loves football, so I feel like they would they would like to bond over football. But no, I think that my family is very, like, my dad's very Americanized, and so he's also very used to when he was dating my mom. My dad is Chinese and my mom is white, and so when he was dating my mom, the first thing that my grandfather on my mother's side did when he came home with her was he slammed the door in his face. So he's been
that goes
through
to a hot
kind of.
take.
Oh, okay. So that's been something that he's very cognizant of, and so he just really focuses on, like, my happiness. And I don't think I think my mom would be actually happier if I brought home an Asian man. But my dad is very much just like whatever makes you happy. I think it could have been a vibe. I don't know. We never got that far.
Has there been a time where you brought a guy home in the past where it just didn't go out that good?
Not really. They always pretend, they always pretend to like them. And then afterwards, once they're gone, they're like,
we knew it. We knew
right.
it.
I'm like, why didn't you wait to tell me that?
Never liked that guy anyway.
I think that,
no.
I like that though, because like, it's not a parent's position to, tell you what to do, right?
They didn't influence you to like.
Yeah, they didn't influence you. That's respectful.
They let it happen on its own.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I need to learn my own lessons. That's for sure. And I have bravely.
So Rhode Island, have you ever wanted to leave Rhode Island? Is there, greener pastures somewhere else maybe for you? Like what's that?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's like a cult. Like once you're like Jared loves Rhode Island.
Yes, he does.
Jared and Ashley. They love Rhode Island. I love Rhode Island. But yeah, of course I wanted to go elsewhere. I studied abroad in England for a semester. And so that was,
nice.
That was the first time I left the country, was when I like packed my bags for 6 months. So I've definitely, done my traveling over there, and I've seen, different parts of the US, and I'm definitely a New England girl through and through. I think I would be open to New York or like a bigger city for right now, but I do love the woods and I love like the ocean, and I just can't imagine being away from any of those things for like too long. Like Rhode Islanders, if we drive like 20 minutes, it's too far. So I want to be close to all of those creature comforts for sure. And
how else would you describe, like, what is it about, what's with the mystique of Rhode Island? Like, why do you love it so much?
Partially because it's everything. It's the center of my universe, like where our friend, like all my friends, my family, like my heart is here. And so I would definitely be willing to move elsewhere for sure. It's so easy to kind of like stay in touch now, but I think just like the ocean and the architecture and just like all of those things, I think it really kind of brings me back.
I think when you said it's the center of my universe, that was it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, Bryan, she's a Rhode Island girl. She's a New England.
I am a Rhode Islander, but no, I do like need to move. My therapist is like, you've got to get out of there. I'm like, yeah, I do. You're right.
Is your therapist not in Rhode Island?
No, he is, but we FaceTime now because
fair.
So I can see him anywhere. Thank God.
You said thank God.
Thank God. He's on speed.
Are you a fan of the movie Me, Myself, and Irene?
No, never seen it.
What?
I know. I'm sorry.
Is it based out of Rhode Island?
It's based out of Rhode Island. Jim Carrey. Okay. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You'll love that. You'll love that movie.
Yeah. Okay, I'll watch it.
All right. So, I mean, this was the question that I was telling Mike that we had to get to because I'm super curious about this. You are a architectural historian. So for those people out there that aren't familiar with that, can you just describe what that job entails?
Bryan was so excited.
Yes, I know. See, everyone's
It
like,
just sounds interesting.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's like a fake job. Everyone's like, she's just a tour guide. I'm like, well, I was at one point. But yeah, which is nothing wrong with being a tour guide. It's fun.
Nothing wrong.
There you go.
But no, I'm an architectural historian. I am in a field, like a subset called cultural resource management. So that deals with heritage assets and managing cultural resources. So that could be anything from historic landscapes to buildings, stone walls, monuments, cemeteries. I work in an archaeology lab, so they deal with the below ground stuff, and then I assist with the above ground stuff.
Were you in England? Did you see Stonehenge?
I did.
Okay, there you go.
Underwhelming. It really is. I can see it.
Hey, you said it, not me. You said it, not me. I went there and I'm like, yeah. How was your reaction?
I mean, it was cool. I was like, this is a bunch of rocks.
Yeah, it's like,
you know,
you got a pic for the gram.
Yeah,
you're good.
Right. I took a picture. You know,
I didn't even take a picture for the gram.
Really?
Why wouldn't you, Mike?
No. I just had to prove that I was here.
That is true. Proof is good. Proof is good.
No, but I did enjoy the museum piece of it because when you're there, you don't know what you're looking at, but kind of seeing going through the museum part of it kind of helped for sure. The interpretive aspect.
So with that, and one, I think you would like DC just based on what you said.
Oh, I love DC. My sister lives there.
See,
Nice.
A part of your universe lives in DC.
I know.
Bryan, I don't know why we're trying to get her to move out of Rhode Island. Why we so messed
what
up?
state do you guys have in it?
We're just going for that. But what made you want to become an architectural historian?
Yeah. So at first, when I went to college, I wanted to be a museum curator. I was obsessed with museums. I went on a Girl Scout trip to a natural history museum, and I was like, I want to work here. So those Girl Scout trips are enriching, and they do work, folks. But
plug.
Yeah, it was a plug for the Girl Scouts. What is it? This
Scouts honor.
Scouts honor. So yeah, so I wanted to be a museum curator. And then I went into college thinking I was going to do that. But then I started to take more courses on architecture and archaeology. And I kind of, it kind of drew me towards being an architectural historian for sure. I went to school in Newport, Rhode Island. Mike, have you been there?
I have, actually. My stepmom's from Newport.
Nice.
No way.
Yeah.
Didn't you have to play rugby there for Hannah Brown season?
We did. I was damn, we're ready to be back.
Yeah, Fort Evans. Yeah. So I went to college there, and so being surrounded by all of the architecture, and then for internships and things like that, I was working in the mansions, and I was giving tours in those big mansions. So yeah, huge. All of my education, huge. Yeah, the summer cottages, as I call them. So I was really kind of drawn to that aspect, and also archaeology is cool. I did go to field school. So I did a dig in South Carolina after my freshman year. And that was really cool. But I realized I'm not a shovel bum. And I would rather not have to deal with snakes and bugs and digging a hole in the woods every time I wanted to go to the bathroom.
Wait, can you describe that? So wait, who was digging with you? How does that work?
Yeah. So it was field school. Field school is what you do when you want to be an archaeologist. Okay. So it was only for a month, and we went down to Charleston, South Carolina, which was so fun. And I was digging with other students, and then our professor was there as well. And so we were just kind of learning how to do archaeology.
Damn. So it sounds like a workout.
It was. Oh my God, it was so hot, the bugs, but it was fun.
Nice.
So
see, now you got me thinking about my time in the military when we have to, dig holes for other stuff.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say, Bryan? That's what I was going to say.
No, I was going to ask her. So you were underwhelmed by Stonehenge. What was the most spectacular historical building that you've ever, or structure that you've ever been to?
Or museum? I really want to know.
Yeah. Obviously, the Louvre in Paris. Okay. It literally brought me to tears.
Really?
Wow. Have you seen it all?
No. Oh God, no, I haven't seen it.
It's like freaking huge.
It's massive. Yeah, I can only do like one hallway. It was like insane. But yeah, that took my breath away. I literally was brought to tears, and that's actually not very hard to bring me to tears. But the Colosseum was also like very shocking as well. So those are definitely like the heavy hitters for me. Paris is the most beautiful place I've ever been, and I would go back a trillion times. I'm obsessed.
Paris is beautiful. I only went when I went by myself, and never again. Such a romantic city.
I know. Yeah. I went there I had like a whirlwind 24 hours because they had to fix my visa when I was in England. So I went there for 24 hours. I met up with a former flame, as you do. And as you do in Paris.
You made the most of it. You made the most of it.
I made the most of it. Yeah.
We ain't mad at it.
When in Paris.
Paris. Exactly.
You definitely have to see my personal favorite museum I've ever been to. One that literally, and it's extremely hard to make me cry, but I shed a tear, was the Anne Frank Museum in Holland.
Yeah. Definitely want to go.
You got to go. Must go. Check it out. What about you, Bryan?
You know what? I can't even think of it, but it's like castles in Portugal and Spain. When I went with, we had the best tour guide, and they just took us all around, and it was like a story from start to finish. Just all the amazing history of the castle and the queen and the king that lived there. It was absolutely amazing. But I want to ask you, Jill, so you've mentioned the places that you have been to. What is the one place that you're looking forward to going to?
I want to go to Egypt.
Yes.
I gotta go to Egypt. Yeah.
Take me with you.
I was obsessed. Before I knew how King Tut looked and everything, I had he was my historical crush. So yeah, he's my historical crush.
That's the first.
I know. I always ask you what the historical crushes are, but no, I was obsessed with Egyptology and still am. I loved every documentary I play. It's got to be about ancient Egypt. So yeah, that's definitely one of the places I want to go, and I also really want to go to Jordan because I want to see Petra. Oh my God, yeah.
Yo, if this is left field, but if you and Clayton did end up together, right? Let's say that. Let's just play with this, right? If he did, one knee, and then y'all did JoJo and Jordan Fletcher, y'all waited to another few years to get married. If he proposed to you in Egypt, that would be so fly.
Right.
Inside the pyramids.
Bruh. So whatever dude is listening to this that's head over heels for you, homie, that's the way you got to do it. That's the way you got to do it. 100%.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah. And then we got to get married at Versailles.
Oh.
That's
she wants to do it big.
Yeah, she wants to do it big.
Simple.
Only Jay-Z and Beyonce, I know, are the only people that ever have it all to themselves.
So speaking of that, just a random question, would you want some flamboyant engagement? Somebody to do something like that, or you want something quiet in front of the family?
Oh, no, not in front of the family. Some people like that.
Some people like that. I hate that.
I hate that. No, definitely not in front of the family. I do like to be wined and dined.
Newsflash, gentlemen.
She got expensive taste, bro.
I know. No, but I'm happy in the middle of the woods, just us two. Or I'm happy in front of the pyramids. So, okay. But definitely not in front of family and friends, because then I have to kiss in front of them, and I just want that moment for myself and for strangers if they want to look, but not family and friends just yet.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been anywhere that was haunted?
Ooh.
So so you must know this because I feel like that was a pointing question. So my dad is a ghost hunter.
I did not know that.
What?
I did not know that at all. Yeah. So intrigued. Let's go.
Yeah, the plot thickens. Okay, so my uncle was on the show Ghost Hunters International on Sci-Fi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so the team for Ghost Hunters is based in Rhode Island. And so my dad got involved with it. And so, yeah, he, on the side for his little hobby, he likes to ghost hunt.
What
So,
does
yeah.
moms think
Like,
about
yeah, I know.
that?
Like, I need
What
to
is
know
a-
more about this. Like, what?
Yeah, no, mom is happy to have him out for the night.
Go hunt your ghosts. Go hunt your ghosts.
Right.
Go ahead, baby. Do your thing. I'm drinking wine with the
that's
girls.
The least egregious thing you can do, like, just go hunt ghosts, honey. So, yeah, so
That's
it's
hilarious.
So,
I've
Jill,
definitely
have you
Go
gone
ahead.
with them?
no, oh my God, no, I hate scary movies. I hate anything like that. I am very spiritual, and I do believe that there is something else going on. I think I've experienced things, but I'm not quite sure. My dad is always very quick to be like, yeah, no, that was definitely it. So yeah, he thinks that, I guess in my family, there's this thing called, in Chinese, it's called cat eyes. And so you can kind of see through like the other side, perhaps. And so I had an experience before I left for the show that I thought was, maybe something like paranormal. So I told my dad, and he was like, this is like something that's been in our family, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm about to leave for the show. I can't think about this at all. Like, I can't process this. Like, I don't think, like, people are going to think I'm a witch, which they already do. So I just can't.
Wait, so
Yeah.
so what was that? What did you see, or what did you experience?
Oh, God.
Come on,
So
we got
This is too juicy. We have to
this
know.
is
I
interesting.
know. So I was at my friend's house, and I've been there like a trillion times, but it's in the middle of the woods. And so I was walking out, and it was like midnight. And I was walking out to my car, which was like on a hill in the middle of nowhere. But I felt really comfortable because we'd grown up there. It's fine. So I start walking out, and I see something like a big figure, like larger than life. Like, and I'm like, something is over there, like near my car. And then I hear like footsteps, and it starts running towards me. And I'm like, so I scream, and then I run back inside. I'm like, there's something out there, something. All my friends are like, what is going on? So like, I made all the boys come out with me. And then we checked. This is the crazy part though. So there was a Ring camera, and I was like, check the ring. All the other videos were able to play fine. That one corrupted.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
So wait, so your friends,
I don't know.
they're like, what are you talking about? You're crazy
Yeah.
right now. And you were the only one that saw this.
yes, I was the only one that saw it. But I was driving home. I was scared as hell. I was so scared. I called my friend who had left earlier. I was like, you'll never believe this. She's like, wait, before you say anything, when I left our friend's house, I felt weird. And I was like, stop. That's weird. There's something going on. I don't know.
So wait, you get home, you tell your dad, and your dad's like, yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's like, for sure. Yeah, he believed me 100%. I
Wow.
felt very
Yo,
validated.
Dad's like, yeah, it's what it is, babe. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, he's like, just be cognizant of it. He's like, it's nothing to be scared of. And I was like, okay.
I don't want to go off. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but because my wife always says she believes in ghosts, she believes in spirits, but she doesn't believe in aliens. A ghost hunter.
I believe in aliens.
A ghost hunter. Does your dad believe in aliens?
I don't know. I've never.
What?
I mean,
You
he
never
watches-
asked them that?
No, he watches like Ancient Aliens, which I don't really like, by the way. Because it falsifies history. But I think there are aliens. What? Of course.
Yeah, that's a good
Aliens.
question, Brian. Like, can you believe in one without the other? I want to say you can.
Can you? I don't know.
I think so. But Jill, this is about you. We want to know all about you. And for one,
let's not go there.
yeah, for one, we're gonna have to get like on an offline. I want to talk to your dad about, bro, tell me all your stories.
Yeah.
But,
yes.
on my personal favorite date from this season with Clayton, during the vulnerability date, you stood up when Caitlin had mentioned, if you've ever wanted to change something about yourself, about your physical appearance. You just had a post recently on IG that touched me for multitudes of reasons. Regarding your date and regarding your friend Steve. Can you dive deeper into that for those that didn't hear or for those that did see the post?
Yeah. So during the vulnerability date, Caitlin had asked the question, if you have ever wanted to change something about your physical appearance, please stand up. And so I'm pretty sure all of us stood up because that's kind of natural. We are our own biggest critics. So I stood and I got really emotional because I have felt immense guilt for wanting to change things about my physical appearance, particularly in regards to aging. So mentioned like lines that I had wanted to fill, or I have a bunch of gray hairs, which I now love. But kind of just like being not kind to my body for simply existing and just kind of going through the natural aging process. And Steve, my friend, my dear friend who I met in college, he had passed in 2016 from cancer. And so that kind of, and he was 20 at the time. And so that kind of really shaped how I feel about aging, and how much I value life and how much I value health. Because I'm sure that anybody who has lost a loved one would want them to be around regardless of what they look like, or regardless of, you know, anything like that. So yeah, and that was something that had been on my heart for a long time. When I studied abroad, so I landed in England, and that night I got a text that he had passed. So I wasn't able to grieve with any of my friends or family. I was in a foreign country. I knew nobody. And so I don't think I ever properly was able to grieve that loss. It was kind of like, his mom shared a really beautiful poem, and it described death as kind of just like slipping into the next room. And that's how I really felt. To this day, it's kind of like, I feel like he's just slipped into the next room, and I haven't seen him in a long time, but I feel like he's still there. And so I've been grappling with this, like dealing with grief, and then dealing with aging. And he was in my major as well, and I ended up being the only one to graduate with my major in my year. So we had all the same classes together, and I know that what I'm living now is the life that he would have loved to live. His dream was to be an architectural historian. Wow. So nice. I feel like I carry that with me. And yeah, so that was really hard for me to share. I didn't share the story of Steve with the other girls just because I didn't want it to be about, that's not what really it was about. You know, I didn't want the date to be centered around that, but it was something that I was dealing with. And obviously when you're trying to find love, or when you're going through this like major change in life, you want to be surrounded by the people that you love. And so I was feeling that loss throughout this whole process. And so after the show, I went to Philly, and I went to his favorite museum with his parents. And so we just had like a really nice celebration. And so, yeah, they have been a pillar of strength throughout this for me, in my grieving process. And so I want to shout them out because they are the most amazing people, and they support me and my career, because they know that Steve lives on through whatever I do in my career and in my life. So, yeah.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question for you in regards to grief.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm big now, especially. I really don't care if out of a million people, I don't care if I don't touch 999,000, but I just care about, you know, the one person that needs it to hear it.
Yeah.
And so for someone dealing with grief right now, Jill, what would you say to that individual?
I would say that I truly believe that the soul lives on. And I feel like our memories and are concrete, and just because they're not there doesn't mean that they cannot continue to enrich our lives. I feel like at every point in my life, I, you know, can touch upon grief, and I can feel new emotions, and I can use that to kind of help me in the larger picture, you know. And so I feel like during this process, and especially during that group date, I was very much like, aging is a privilege. Not everyone gets the opportunity to age. And so that was really big for me to kind of, you know, just to kind of go through. And I don't know, I think that grief comes in waves, and you should be kind to yourself in dealing with that, because it's not the same process for everybody, but honor your feelings, let yourself have hard days. And then just know that their spirit does live on with you.
Love that. Love that. I want to transition now. I mean, thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful. But going further on in the show, you participated on the football date, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were unfortunately were on the losing team.
I was.
I mean, they had Marlena and Sierra.
Marlena.
So I know it was a tough game. Had you ever? You said your dad loved football. Had you ever even participated playing football at all?
No. Oh God, no. No, I was. No, I was a cheerleader.
Okay.
So I was on the sidelines, but my football knowledge starts and ends at first and 10. Do it again. That's just about it. Like 10. I don't really.
I've never heard that in my life, but it makes sense.
So Super Bowl, you weren't into it?
Oh no, I watched it. I was cheering for both teams.
And the commercials, go commercials.
Right. No, it's interesting. Now I'm kind of getting more into it. But because I want to be part of the pop culture. I want to get the jokes.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I honestly had so much fun on that date. Even though I lost, I was like, contact sports, like, let's go. It was so fun. Like, right. I got rocked a couple times, like hard. Like Teddy, I was like Teddy out of all people, because like when I'm watching it back, like when you're in there, like you got the helmet on, you don't really know what's going on. Teddy was the one who take me down like so many times, and Mara by the head.
Yeah.
They weren't messing around.
Both of them, Teddy and Marlena.
Oh my God, I was so scared. But yeah, no, I honestly had a good time. I told Clayton after I had a really good time, even though I lost. But you take, just like Marlena says, when you take an L, you take it with pride.
Well, somebody did take it with pride because they ended up showing up on the group date. Did you have any idea that she had gone to the group date?
No. I went home and I cried, obviously, about not getting time. Classic. And so, but then I went to sleep because I was like, I have an early night tonight. So I went to sleep, and Sierra was my roommate in Houston. And so I wake up just rested and feeling peaceful. And I looked over her. I said, how was the cocktail party? And she rolls over. She goes, bitch.
I was about to say girl. And I was like, yeah, that sounds more like Sierra.
I was I'm about to get the tea. So when she told me that she went to the cocktail party, I was shocked. I was obviously shocked because I'm like, who did you hitch a ride with to go to the cocktail party? Like, what the hell? Like, ridiculous. So, and then she said that she had deserved to be there, that she threw the trophy, and I'm shocked. And so everyone's like just starting to wake up. So news is kind of trickling. And so I run over to Rachel's room and she's sleeping. I go, Rachel! I like wake her up out of a dead slumber. She's like, what? And I was like, Shanae showed up to the cocktail party. And it was just like the craziest thing. I had no idea. It was crazy.
So she didn't talk to none of y'all about it. It was just like her little secret. She kept it to herself.
No. When we were all sitting around, in our football uniforms, feeling sad for ourselves. And we were crying because we really wanted time and, just like reminiscing on how amazing it would have been to get time. And then she just like silently rises and then and exits. And we're just like, oh, she's being emotional. I'm like, fine, whatever. I'm not going to go after her. Fine. So
she was plotting.
And then that's the last that we saw of her that night. And I didn't think anything of it.
What talking about Shanae, how do you feel watching it back? Like, not from the perspective of being another contestant, but from the perspective of like, I think that Shanae wanted all the attention, which she definitely got.
Yeah.
I don't think she was there for love.
Yeah.
Like from that angle, how was it to you watching her back?
Watching it back is worse than I could have ever imagined, actually.
Because you guys didn't know, right? Like what she was saying behind the scenes.
No, not at all. I was shocked. Now I'm so sick of hearing about it. I'm so sick of talking about it. But like, I know I'm preaching to the choir. She just keeps rearing her ugly head. But no, like in the house, I was very much like she keeps to herself, and then she was beep, 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 behind the scenes. She was talking her shit, and I was, and that's disingenuous to me, obviously, because I'm coming to you as a person, as a grown woman. She's older than me. She should know better. Sorry. But I'm coming to you as a grown woman, and I'm trying to have a conversation with you and try to figure out how we can make this work for you. Because from my perspective, she was very much being like, I don't have any friends and everyone in the house is two-faced. Okay, well, I'm coming to you And that's very ironic. And that's very ironic that she says two-faced.
Wait, Bryan, did you hear the accent come out right there?
I did. It sounded like
accent,
a little Rhode Island.
Yeah, that was Rhode Island accent. It came out right there.
I know. Actually, it gets worse every episode. I'm glad it ended when it did because I was getting some heat.
You're gonna go full blown Rhode Island towards the end.
I know it's gonna be bad. But yeah, so I was shocked at what I was hearing, and so my views have definitely changed since watching the show.
Fair. Well, let's talk about you some more.
Okay.
Tell me about this limo entrance.
Oh,
The urn.
the limo entrance heard around the world. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was funny. So I wanted to make an impression, obviously, and I did that. I did do that. And so I think I obviously have more of a bit of a darker humor, and yeah, so I definitely was like, okay, what can I do to make me stand out? And that idea was presented to me, and I said, okay. And obviously, it's like crazy. Like it was so unhinged, but I had a good punchline. I was gonna say they didn't air the punchline.
What was the punchline?
Okay, you got to finish it for us.
Right. So I said, I said these are the ashes of my exes. I brought them along just in case you make the same mistakes that they did. And then I like looked at him like all angry.
And he was mortified.
And he was like shocked. And then I said, no, I'm just kidding. I've just been dying to meet you, and I hope to talk to you more inside so I can earn your rose.
Oh,
so yeah.
Okay.
Boom, love that.
Right. So like that's kind of funny, like whatever.
Earnest joke.
Right. And so the whole point was like I was actually kidding, and there's nothing in the urn, but everyone's like, how are the families okay with like you bringing their son's ashes? And I'm like,
oh God,
like they really went that far. And I was like, oh, it was not that serious. There was nothing in the urn. But I honestly, because I didn't get any time with him night one, so I do think that saved my ass.
Did any ex-boyfriends reach out? We're like,
no.
What was that about?
No, I warned one of them, and he was just like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, you said you warned one of the exes.
Yeah.
Why?
I was like, you're not in the urn, you know it.
No, but like, why? Or does he just like? Do you and your ex? Does that ex and you still talk?
Was it the most recent ex, maybe?
Right. It was the most recent ex, and he's actually part of my friend group. My friend group is very incestual. And so I still see him like all the time.
Welcome to Bachelor Nation.
I know. Oh my God.
Welcome to Rhode Island.
Right. Welcome to Rhode Island. So yeah, I just like gave him a heads up. He was like fine with it. We're still friends. It's fine.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay.
I get that. So, we know that you are someone that feels your emotions, right? You're someone that's very into your emotions. Yeah. Who was the hardest to say goodbye to and why in the house?
I think you guys know. I think you saw. It was Rachel, obviously. Rachel and I grew so close. Like after the first night we were in the house, it was like instant connection. I was like, maybe I did find love. No, because Rachel and I love each other so much. But no, she was definitely the hardest to say goodbye to. Also like Hunter, Lindsay, W, who left with me. Those are my girls. And so hard to say goodbye to them. Because it feels like at the end of like after you leave, you really talk about people like they're gone for real. They're like, man, I remember like the good times when so-and-so was here. Like we act like they like died, but no. I'm like,
girl, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Right, a couple weeks. Like it's just a couple weeks. But yeah, so that was really hard to leave my.
All y'all can be on Paradise together. We'll see all y'all.
I don't know.
Is that a yes that you would go?
I heard it's worse. I heard Paradise is worse.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out. Like Bryan said, it's 50-50.
I'm ready to be hurt again. No, I just know I'm gonna go there and cry and scream at crabs, and like that's fine.
Well, I mean, baby, you gotta have a positive attitude because you might just meet the love of your life there.
Right, exactly. And so I'm definitely open to it. This has taught me so much, and so I'm open to I'm open to learning new things about myself.
So
I'm open to love.
Bryan, please ask the question. Ask the question.
Well, obviously Clayton isn't in your future, but is there anybody that you would like to see on the beach just to, just to get to know a little bit better?
Yeah, obviously. I ain't telling you guys.
Come on now. You gotta let us know something.
Give us their initials or something.
No. There's definitely guys that there's definitely guys that I'm interested in. All the guys in Bachelor Nation are so cute, so amazing. But I gotta keep my cards a little closer to my chest.
We don't know what the future may hold, right?
We don't.
So that we can get to know you and so that our listeners, possibly somebody might be on the beach. What was the longest relationship that you've been in, and like how did it shape you into the woman you are today?
Yeah. So I have been a serial monogamous. I have been in relationships like from high school back to back to back to back. This is the longest that I've been single. And it's only been a year. It's literally been a year, like this week since I've been single. And so, so I'm really glad that I kind of like took this time to find myself, as they say. But no, I'm big on like a soulmate, I do believe in soulmates. I know some people say they don't believe in soulmates. I really do. And so I feel like I'm looking for like a really like, not necessarily passionate, but just like someone who I know is going to be like a partner in life, like through all stages of life. And so, yeah, I feel like my previous relationships, I have either just been like, I don't think that you're the one, like I don't picture our future together, and not necessarily something that they did wrong or whatever. But no, there've been a lot of relationships that have shaped me, and the good, the bad, the ugly. But I feel like I'm at the point in my life now where I'm definitely looking for something serious,
I think that's healthy for people to say, either party within the relationship, hey, I think that you're a great human being. I just don't feel like we're compatible. I think that's truly healthy instead of staying into a relationship too long and then the possibility of traumatic things taking place. I think that's healthy.
Yeah, and I've done that too.
Jill, so tell me this, like what, you being a woman, like what happens, like what point do you get to where it's like, okay, like I'm ready to settle down, I want something serious? Like, is it an age thing? Is it like just through your experience and every relationship that you have that you get to that point? Like, can you talk about that? Because we were actually talking about that in our hot take, with the whole Mara and Sarah, she's basically saying, Sarah isn't ready and whatnot. So Mike and I had a little disagreement.
Okay.
So I want to hear from a woman's perspective, like what they think about that situation.
Okay. So, and I'm smack dab right between like of Mara and Sarah. I'm, Sarah's like 23, I'm 26, and Mara's like 30. So, I think if I were when I was 23, I was not ready. I don't even know who that girl was. She was somebody else. She was on a different planet. But I think it's different. I think it's different for everybody at whatever stage in life that you're at. I think people may be so lucky to find someone really young, and be able to grow with them. I think it's honestly about finding the right person and being able to grow within that relationship. Because I've definitely felt stuck in relationships and felt like I can't grow. So it depends if you have the right partner, I don't want to say that people can't be ready when they're 23. And I don't think that, because I think that is definitely the case for some people. But for me personally, I was not ready.
And I got some uncles that are in their 60s.
They still ain't ready.
Boy, I'm like, bruh, what are you doing?
It's like, I'm going to play the field till I die.
My uncles have used me to pull women for them. I'm like, dude, you 63 years old, homie.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
What about Tajwan? I heard that she likes uncles.
Oh!
I love Tajwan.
You might see her on Paradise.
Oh my God, I would love to. She seems so fun.
She's super funny. She's super funny.
Yeah.
She's super
amazing.
I love that you brought that up, actually. That was hilarious. Going back to the relationship aspect, what's been the best piece of a relationship advice that you've ever given or ever received?
Oh God. I feel like you have to trust yourself. And
yourself. Okay.
Yeah, you have to trust yourself. There's definitely times in relationships where I have known in my heart and soul that it wasn't, the heart and the brain aren't always connected. And so you kind of really have to trust
the heart, brain, or
right. That too.
We think with the wrong sometimes.
Exactly. So you guys.
Just being honest.
But yeah, I think definitely like trust yourself. And if you don't see that person as being good for you, you need someone that always fills you up. And it has to be like an equal partnership, because I've definitely been in relationships where I've given a lot, and also relationships where I've taken a lot. And so I think that there really needs to be good communication, and you just have to know yourself and know your boundaries. And really
know your boundaries is huge.
Yeah, huge.
To wrap up the interview, Jill, again, we got to learn a lot about you in this interview. Like, what else? Like, give us your final thoughts. What would you like all the viewers out there to know about you and what you're about?
Oh, God. Yeah, people didn't really get to see very much of me. And I think that I'd like to think that I'm funny. And I'd like to bring some some happiness and some laughs and gaffs. But I also am I am ready, and I'm looking for a relationship. So yeah, I think I came in with the best intentions, and I intend on continuing to try to find my person, and hopefully that'll happen.
Like that.
Paradise.
Might be. Well, are we shipping her for Paradise, Bryan? Is that what we're doing right now?
It sounds like a campaign. I mean, I would go. I would kick and scream the whole way, but I would go.
There you go. I think we should have a new segment. When we have guests on, I want to see who can come up with the dopest background. Because Jill, I love you, but I'm not a liar whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one person that got you beat.
Who?
Erin Brockovich. We had her on. I mean, it's kind of unfair. She's probably a billionaire, but so it's a little bit unfair probably. But I'm loving your background. So something other people may not know if they're just listening to the audio version is that you do a great job. Your interior decorating look nice.
Yeah, definitely my cabinet of curiosity. I love to thrift. I love to fill my space with cool, interesting things. So that's important in a partner, is to let me have full control over anything aesthetic wise, or be open.
That would be open. Be open is huge. But Jill, before we let you go, the very last thing, I'm talking it out. We like to do this, what we call dropping that gem. So Jill, what's your gem for today? Let's hear it.
Okay, so I think my gem is going to be something that I have to tell myself all the time. And what I came into the house having to think was that confidence isn't about walking into a room and thinking that you're better than everybody else. It's about walking into a room and knowing you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else.
You versus you. That's it.
Me versus me.
That was my favorite song of 2021, Me Versus Me.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that gem. It's beautiful. It's so true. Mm-hmm. I've heard that gem before, and I've said that quite often. It used to be on my wall. So I love that gem. I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And thank you for being here today.
Oh my God, I had so much fun. Thank you guys.
Bryan, I love having Jill on. She's so funny with her little facial reactions. I feel like she could be like an actress, the way that
she kind of reminds me of Caitlin Bristol a little bit, she talks
the side talk, the side talk a little bit.
That's funny.
I like that. It's crazy that on Clayton's season he has Jill, he has Gabby, both hilarious. Marlena, I think she's hilarious as well. Yeah. You would think season would have went completely different.
Listen, bro, sense of humor. I guess at the end of the day, man, looks are gonna fade, right? You need somebody, like she was saying, that banter, that sense of humor, want to keep you laughing into your 80s and 90s and 100s. So, I think she's a catch, man. I think, I wish her the best of luck. Hopefully we see her on Paradise. She finds some love.
I'm going to call it early. Right. I'm trying to think. Who can you see her with that would be on Paradise?
I mean, let's think about it. She emotionally mature, funny, but can hang with her as far as the banter.
She's emotionally mature, but she's also emotional. So a guy can't be stupid, militant. He has to be able to have that maturity as well.
I got to look at the roster. I don't know. I got to look at the eligible bachelors.
We got to look at the roster. But Joe's so dope to have you on. Thank you so much. And like the story with your father, that was like crazy. Like didn't know that whatsoever. Would have never thought that. She thought that we knew the inside. We didn't know it at all.
I did not know that.
Yes, can't wait. Can't wait to see what your future has for you. But Bryan, I gotta hear your hot take too, homie. Not your hot take, but you're dropping your gem.
My gem is actually a top 10, and it's by the one and only Kobe Bryant. His 10 rules.
Oh, okay.
Okay. His 10 rules. Get better every single day, number 1. Number 2, prove them wrong. Number 3, work on your weaknesses. Number 4, execute what you practice, 5, learn from greatness. 6, learn from wins and losses. 7, practice mindfulness. 8, be ambitious. 9, believe in your team. And number 10, learn storytelling.
I remember that. Why when you said those 10, all I was thinking about was what is that game called? King's Cup.
What
is that game? Have you played that game before? King's Cup? It's a drinking game.
Is that a drinking game? Okay.
It's a drinking game. I haven't played
I played Flip Cup.
Bro, I'm getting old. Homie. I haven't played a drinking game in years.
Wait, King's Cup. Is that like an actual like King's Cup, like you get it at the end or something?
No, it's like the way I play, it's always been like a little shot glass, and it's filled up with something probably nasty. And then there's a bunch of like playing cards around, and every card has like a jack, for example, or an ace. Everyone's ace is pretty much the same. Ace, if you get an ace, it's ace of spades, or I forget the damn rules. I forgot the rules, but basically,
bottom line, you're getting drunk.
You're getting drunk. Bottom line.
Okay, I'm down to play next time we see each other if you want.
No, I have to give you, there's a tequila. You know, tequila is my thing. It's called Abasola, so I got to get you that tequila.
Bro, if you're listening, Abasola, I like,
said,
let's do a brand deal. I don't know. I'm just saying, it doesn't get any better than that, okay?
I'm just saying, you my 15%, my agent fee on that one. You know,
I got you, bro. I got you.
But my gem for today, I think I've yet to come up with a gem that I read. So these are all gems that just come from that day or right there in the interview.
Love that. Okay.
So my gem for today is sometimes it be the lens of laughter to help us see the clearest. Right? Like what I mean by that, think about like comedians. Your favorite, I don't care who your favorite comedian is, you know, we can disagree or agree. We love comedians because like they can say some real ass stuff. And it's because of the lens of comedy, the lens of laughter. And laughter is also our greatest medicine when it comes to like when we're feeling down, when we're feeling sad,
brings
when we're
people
depressed.
together.
It brings people together. And so I guess my gem on us to be succinct would just be, baby, if you're feeling bad, put on your favorite comedy.
Or hang with people that make you laugh, right?
There you go.
Friends, family, whatever the case may be.
There you go.
But everybody out there, to all our listeners, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. And once again, reminder time, we're casting for The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So make sure to head to bachelornation.com/apply. That's bachelornation.com/apply. And remember, you may find the love of your life. You never know.
You truly never know. You never know. Or you might just be, you know, a drama queen. and here on Talking Out, we might talk crap about you. But then it's at the same time show you love. You know, we always love to hear your opinions, your stories, your insight. So please don't forget to give us a like, follow, comment. Message us on social at Talking Out BN. On Instagram, that's Talking Out B as in Bachelor, N as in Nation. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and listen to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And baby, I ain't got to tell you no more. I know you already know. Don't hit me up no more until you hit that subscribe. We love y'all.